Did you know that by doing one secret thing, inside of the NotebookLM we can change the language of a podcast, for example, to French?
On plonge aujourd'hui dans un sujet qui est au cœur de nos vies.
Or even Spanish?
Bienvenidos a nuestra inmersión profunda en el mundo de las inversiones.
So in this video, I will show you the entire process from start to finish, how you can actually change the language of your AI podcast in seconds. So watch to the end and let's dive in. So first things first, we need to go over to our NotebookLM. We need to upload our file that we want. So for example, here I've got the file about investments, and here inside of actually our studio, we've got audio overview. And in order to change the language actually of our AI podcast, we need to click here on customize. And right now I've got for you perfect formula that works. And with that, actually with the secret method, we can go over and we can change the language of our AI podcast. So in general, it's not that complicated. I mean the entire formula and actually the prompt. However, we are kind of hacking our system because for now we don't have actually the direct possibility to change the language of a podcast. However, we are doing some simple trick. So here inside of the prompt you can see, and we've got following sentences. Create a podcast episode entirely in language. So we are kind of fulfilling these brackets with our kind of desired language. Focus on a topic, so we provide our topic for our case, with an introduction, 3 main discussion points, and a conclusion. Avoid using other languages, this is very, very important, except to clarify unique terms. Highlight the growing language speaking, also we are kind of mentioning like the specific language we are using in this particular podcast, to make sure it uses it. So language speaking audience and the relevance of the topic. Keep it engaging, informative, and immersive for language listeners. Future translation to English is optional but not included for now. And this is pretty everything. So this is our formula that we'll need to use inside of the NotebookLM. So again, we are kind of hacking the system because right now we don't have the possibility to actually do it directly. So kind of choose some option, provide for me the podcast in the language. So for example, Spanish. Nevertheless, we are doing the simple trick. So this is our secret formula and you can go over, you can copy that in the description of this video, so I will attach here the file to this exact kind of the data. With all that being said, what we can do? We can go over, we can copy our entire formula, and when we are here inside of our NotebookLM, we need to click on Customize in the right top corner, and right now paste it. Moving on, we need to fulfill our brackets with the desired language. So here, Spanish, focus on topic, which is investments. Then also provided data here. So when we have our variables, we need to provide our specific language, Spanish, and that's it. Now we can go over and we can simply click generate and wait a few minutes. So we've got our podcast about investments. Let's see if that worked and if we have our Spanish kind of the language inside of the podcast. So let's go over, play it.
Hola a todos. Bienvenidos a nuestra inmersión profunda en el mundo de las inversiones.
Un tema que está generando mucho interés en la comunidad hispanohablante.
Y con mucha razón, porque invertir es crucial para asegurar nuestro futuro financiero.
Totalmente de acuerdo.
Hoy vamos a explorar cómo planificar nuestras inversiones de forma inteligente.
So definitely, as you could see, it works. It is very decent. We've got our Spanish language and kind of, we manipulated our NotebookLM to create for us specific kind of the podcast in a certain language. This is very, very cool. Similarly, we can do the stuff. So for example, create the podcast in other language. Let's go over and now provide the French. So moving on, what we can do, we can click on these 3 dots. We can delete our podcast. And here, kind of again, customize it, provide our formula, and specify the language, which is French. So let's listen to our podcast.
Salut tout le monde et bienvenue à notre Deep Dive du jour. On plonge aujourd'hui dans un sujet qui est au cœur de nos vies et qui intéresse particulièrement la communauté francophone grandissante d'investisseurs.
Absolument.
On parle bien sûr des investissements. Et plus précisément, on va se pencher sur 3 aspects clés.
Despite the fact I don't understand anything because I'm not into French, it works. So we've got actually our podcast in another language. Previously we had Spanish and now we've got French. And here I have for you a quick note. Kind of this method doesn't work in all of the cases. For example, when it comes to Polish, it has some problems. It's not actually speaking very fluently, like we've got a different weird accent. So bear in mind that in some cases with some languages, it doesn't work as it should. So we may have some problems. Sometimes, for example, it may create for you a podcast in English. However, after a few tries, definitely it should work. Nevertheless, the most important fact is that sometimes it doesn't work with some languages. Moving on, what is very impressive, and let me show you that, because it will blow your mind. Recently we had an update inside of the NotebookLM, and we have actually our interactive mode, so we can speak with our podcasters. And here, what is interesting, we can go over and we can speak in this particular language that our podcast is in. So here we can go over, we can join our interactive mode and speak, for example, here I've got actually the Spanish podcast.
Profunda.
En el mundo de las...
So generally I can speak in Spanish. So let me show you that. I can go over, I can press interactive mode.
Hola a todos y bienvenidos a nuestra inmersión profunda. Hoy nos sumergimos en el mundo de las inversiones.
Un tema apasionante. Oh, hey, our listener wants to join in. What's up?
Dime las reglas de invertir. Responde en español.
Hola de nuevo, me encanta que estés participando.
Sí, qué bueno tenerte aquí con nosotros.
Y sí, como dijiste, es verdad que muchos se enfocan solo en ganar dinero.
Pero es que invertir es mucho más que eso. Se trata de construir un futuro.
Así es. Por eso vamos a fijar metas claras.
Exacto, de usar las herramientas adecuadas para alcanzarlas.
Ya que nos comentaste esto, te recordamos que vamos a explorar también cómo las comisiones
So again, it's working, but I need to say the accuracy of these methods is not 100%. So for example, sometimes it will create for you like the podcast in English instead of the language you would like. For example, when you would like to speak, so use interactive mode, it will respond in English. So yeah, kind of use these methods. However, remember, it's not 100%. Actually, the accuracy of it is not 100%. When it comes to interactive mode, great actually sentence is to tell kind of the chatbot to respond in the specific language. So for example, I said to respond for me in Spanish when I used interactive mode. So this is kind of the simple trick. And these were two methods of how you can go over and you can create podcast in any language you want. So that we have it. Thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to leave the like for the YouTube algorithm, click the subscribe button, and leave the comments what you think about it. How it went for you, if it's working, and kind of, yeah, share your experience. For now, this is everything. Thank you again for watching this video, and I will see you next time.